House, remove all the doubt, come see what we about, come and find out.
Hey, shalom, shalom, listening audience. This is Israel United in Christ, and this is the Writings on the Wall radio show. To my right,
Officer Elijah.
Officer Hezekiah.
Officer Sampson.
And I'm Officer Losias.
and he's Officer Losias. All praise, all praise. Give me the first article. Give me the first article. Give me the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 25. All right, we're gonna jump right into it. All right, we are living in the last days. Actually, give me the book of Hebrews, chapter 1 and verse 2. You can start at verse 1. I don't care. Read that real quick for us.
Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1.
Come on.
God, who at sundry times and diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son.
So understand this clearly. Since the time of Messiah, since he walked the earth, it has been the last days. All right. We are doing nothing but getting closer to the return of the Lord. All right.
That's right.
Read the name of that article real quick before we get into it.
Large size meteor explodes over New York. Big fireball flash caught on video.
You see that thing right there? It says large size meteor explodes over New York. Scroll down. Let's read some of this.
A mysterious boom was heard across central New York Thursday afternoon. The sonic boom left houses shaking, windows rattling, and many citizens confused.
And many citizens what?
Confused.
Confused. All right, come on.
According to experts, the explosive sound was likely caused by a meteor.
What's the date on this? Scroll up. What is the date on this one?
This is December the 3rd, 2020.
December the 3rd, 2020, just a few days ago.
2020.
Residents across central New York quickly dialed 911 to report the occurrence, while some took to social media to express their worry.
They're worried. That means what? They're frantic, they're concerned, they're nervous. Read on.
Just felt an explosion that rattled our entire house in Syracuse. I hope everyone is safe. Former congressional candidate Roger Misso wrote on Twitter. Everyone else in Syracuse just heard a big boom and feel their house shake. I'm seeing multiple different explosion reports.
Now, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Give me Acts, the 2nd chapter. All right, give me Acts, the 2nd chapter. It's just the beginning. They say they heard a big boom. It's going to be a bigger boom.
Right, because when that day comes,
Exactly.
it's going to be big.
It's going to be big and unforgivable. Meaning what? It's the last bang.
Right.
That's
It's
right.
the last one. Yeah, read that. Acts, the 2nd chapter and verse 17.
The book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams.
So what is Luke quoting right here? That is the prophet Joel. All right. And when it says all flesh, it's not talking about everybody. It's talking about those of Zion, the children of Israel. Read on.
Verse 18, and on my servants and on my handmaidens, I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy.
Watch this.
And I will show wonders in heaven above.
You see that? He says he will show wonders in heaven above. That's going into the sky. All right. That's what that heaven's talking about. So he says in these last days, he's going to show wonders in heaven above. Read.
And signs in the earth beneath.
Blood
and fire and vapor of smoke.
It says blood and fire and vapor of smoke. Where is this going to be taking place? In the sky, on the earth, in the heavens. Okay, he said when it's going to happen though? In the last days.
That's right.
All right, so what are we doing? Our show is called what? The Writings on the Wall. All right.
That's right.
So as you see the earth contract, you understand, start going through these different phases.
Right.
What is that telling us? It's telling us that in these last days, we're getting closer to the return of the Lord.
Speaking on the last days, can I get 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10?
Absolutely.
Because people got to understand, like this ain't just to point out and say, hey, look at this. It's actually giving you a heads up, like, hey, something needs to change. Something needs to happen. Read that.
2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
So understand, he's giving us warning, but you're still never going to know the day he's going to come. That's why he says it's going to come like a thief in the night. Nobody knows when a thief is going to come. You can't prepare for a thief because a thief comes in the time that he think you're not going to be prepared. Read.
In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
That's going to be the explosion. Read.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
So if you think you're going to hide in something and it's going to escape what's going to happen, that's telling you even the elements are going to melt away. Whatever you're hiding behind, the elements that make that thing that you got your faith in is going to melt away. Read.
The earth also and the works that therein shall be burnt up.
So everything's going to be burnt. What else going to happen? Read.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be?
So it's asking you, knowing that this is going to happen, God has already given you the end prophecy. Now that you know that this is going to happen and you're seeing the signs, what manner of people are ye to be? Throughout the whole Bible, all God ever asks us to do is keep the commandments. In the beginning of the Bible to the end of the Bible. And in the end of the Bible, he tells us those that are going to see the tree of life are those that keep his commandments. So the question is, what manner of people are you going to be?
That's right. That's right. And another thing that Captain Officer bringing out, and these signs in of heaven, what we seeing right now, like Cap said from the beginning, it's just a little bit. They're just a little bit. And what the officer went over, everything is gonna melt, right? Now, who is God coming for? Who is God? Give me 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and 6. So who we coming back to do what? To save. Read.
2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
So who is in tribulation now? Who you seeing still? It's COVID-19 and the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans still getting put down, still get killed by the other nations, the so-called white man, right? It said we in tribulation right now. So God is he gonna come and save who? His people Israel, which you so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native American. Read.
And to you who are troubled, rest with us. When the Lord Jesus shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels.
So guess what? He coming down in the sky. That this meter that they seen, guess what? That's only just a sign that saying like, hey, better get ready because hey, when the day come, it's gonna be hell.
Hey, officer, yes, our people need to get ready. Right. All right. Everybody can't get ready. It don't matter. You know, the Gentiles, right. You know, the so-called Caucasians, the Edomites, they can get ready. They could try to fight against the Lord, like it's prophesied, but they're going to fail. But our main message is to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the 12 tribes of Israel today. This message is to you. All right, let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. All right, I want us to focus on the word amendment, okay? Because just like both officers was going into what in these last days when we see these signs, right? This is warning us and telling us what is about to occur, all right? The reason why God brings these signs, all right, these wonders in heaven on the earth is for us to do what? Get a clue, get our minds together, get ourselves right, all right, so we don't have to suffer the consequences.
That's right.
All right, but read that. 2nd Ezra 16, start at verse 18.
2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18.
Come on.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. Right,
and the powers shall stand in fear, because what do we read in this article? They were worried. Right, they panic mode, things of that nature. When it comes to America feels like they're untouchable, right? Right. They feel like, you know, they're above all countries, all other nations or whatnot. But when you put God in the mix, when you put God in the midst of that, how could they amount to God? They can't. they can amount to God. But I want, like I said, the message ain't to them. The message is to you. Y'all better understand something. He's your God.
That's right.
You understand? He's your God, and he's showing his might on the earth. Is the best thing to do for you is to get your mind right. But let's continue to read.
The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
So you should be like, instead of turning up in the club, instead of trying to get the next sister pregnant, you need to be like, damn, I see things are only getting worse for my people, right?
Right.
Things are getting worse in the earth. So what am I supposed to do so I don't get caught up in those evils, right? Read on.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sit as scourges for amendment.
You see that thing right there? God is literally telling you the reason why this is happening so you can get yourself right. Pull up the definition of amendment, because some people may not know what that means. Amendment, A-M-E-N-D-M-E-N-T. Amendment. Give me the definition of amendment. Read that.
The definition of amendment. A minor change or addition designed to improve a text piece of legislation.
It makes it better or gets it to where it needs to be. So when we go back to the scriptures, give me the book of Jeremiah 7. All right, this will put it in its perspective, what that amendment is speaking of in regarding the nation of Israel. All right, because think about it like this. Find me the one in Jeremiah where it says breach.
Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 17. Therefore, thou shalt say this word unto them, let mine eyes run down with tears night and day, and let them not cease, for the virgin daughter of my people is broken with a great breach.
Right. That's going into the Israelites. Those are God's people. So it says that the nation of Israel is broken with a great breach. That's a split or a tear. Right. Okay. So it says that our nation has been broken with a great breach. Read on.
With a very grievous blow.
With a very grievous blow. All right. How did that occur? That occurred when we sinned against the Most High God. All right. So understand this. Like it said in 2nd Ezra, it says these wonders and signs, these plagues, the famine, the pestilence. This is a result of what? Of sin and amendment. Right. You understand? Also going into what? God is plaguing the earth for what they've done to the children of Israel.
That's right.
We can't miss that. But I ain't talking to them. I'm still talking to you Israelites. Understand this. Now let's go back to Jeremiah 7. Jeremiah 7. Well, just start at verse 1. Watch this.
Jeremiah 7 and verse 1.
Come on.
The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, stand in the gate of the Lord's house and proclaim this word, and say, hear the word of the Lord, all ye of Judah, that enter in at these gates to worship the Lord.
Watch this.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place.
Meaning what? If we want to make it to the kingdom, what do we have to do? We have to be able to decipher what's going on in these last days. That's right. And amend our ways so we can do what? Dwell in the kingdom of heaven. That's what we got to do. But we gotta be able to realize that thing. You understand? Stop being naive. Stop being hard-headed and rebellious, and repent.
Right.
Hey, I got something, Cap. Let me get Sirach 5 and 3. So we're reading this article. People like look, these so-called white people, Edomites. They're safely in their home in Syracuse. That's the uppity part of New York, right? So these people are in their homes chilling, and they're feeling this rattling. They're in their security. But it does not matter. Like what Cap was saying, when you're dealing with God, that does not matter how secure where you think you are. God will be able to tear down everything.
That's right.
All right, read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 3. And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
So God's saying, read that again.
And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
Read.
Say not, I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me?
So don't be out here sinning willfully and thinking that nothing's going to happen. Yes, God has grace given to those, who he has elected. There's a certain amount of grace for each amount of person. So don't go around sinning that you can that nothing's bad is going to happen to you. Jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6. And say not, his mercy is great, he will be pacified for the multitude of my sins.
Read.
For mercy and wrath come from him.
Mercy and wrath come from him. Read on.
And his indignation rested upon sinners.
Upon sinners. So you will hear in the Christian church that God he doesn't hate the sinner. He only hates the sin. He's showing you right here he hates the sinner as well. Read on.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
So what you're hearing is don't wait to start keeping God's commandments. To break God's commandments means you're in the midst of sin. So if the longer you turn away or decide not to keep God's commandments, he's showing you what's going to happen to you. Read that again.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. And put not off from day to day.
You know that's our people's favorite saying. You know, I'm going to keep the laws next week. I'm going to keep the laws next month. Oh, I got an event lined up for me. About to cook this gumbo pot of shrimp, pork, you know what I'm saying? So our people want to tarry to turn back to the Lord. Come on.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And in thy security.
And in thy what?
And in thy security.
Read.
Thou shalt be destroyed.
In your security, you're going to be destroyed. So that's the same thing these Edomites were feeling. They felt secure in their houses, secure in their neighborhoods. But just best believe, when Christ returns, all that's going to get torn down.
Hey, real quick. Speaking of, I got to go back to our people. Right. I got to go back to our people. Go back to 2 Ezra 16 because the officer said a lot of our people, we like to put off, right, and say we're going to, do this and that. When it comes to childbirth, right, what are the signs that you're really about to give birth to that baby? What happens, brothers?
You have contractions.
Contractions, right? Yes, now, speaking from experience and knowing, certain brothers and sisters, you hear about different birth stories, right? Sometimes the sister, she has contractions and then boom, that baby come right out. But then you got some sisters who be in labor for 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours. You be like, damn, when is this baby going to come?
Right.
You understand? So just because the signs are there, it doesn't mean that, I still got a little bit of time. But no, that's not what it means. Right. It means just, okay, right now, I should have got myself together yesterday, But read that. Go back and read verse 37. 2 Ezra 16, verse 37.
2 Ezra 16, verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son.
Right, so it says the plagues on the earth is going to be the same as when a woman is getting ready to bring forth a child in the 9th month. That's the last month. That's the last month. Read.
Within 2 or 3 hours of her great birth pain, compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment.
Right, so the scripture's telling you, man, these plagues is going to be coming rapidly, meaning what happens with contractions? You have one, it calms down, right? All right, and the next one, let's say, comes 10 minutes later. All right, then the next one comes 8 minutes later. Then the next one comes 5 minutes later. You understand? So throughout that process, the baby can be here at any moment. Right. But when it comes to a Negro, they're like, nah, I got time.
Yep. That's exactly how they be.
And guess what? Just paying attention to the sign. Let me get a quick precept real fast. Luke 12, verse 54. Because we can see, like, we don't pay attention to these signs. Like, we see like the thing that happened up there up north, right? But we don't pay attention to this. We can pay attention to the change of the weather. When we see, like, okay, it's cloudy outside from the rain. When we see, like, when it's cloudy from the be bad weather, thing like that, we see those type of signs and be like, okay, let me dress accordingly, a thing like that. But when we see these type of signs, like, okay, I can still got time to just tarry and not get myself right with the Lord.
Are they comfortable in their sins?
Right. But go ahead and read that.
Luke chapter 12 and verse 54. And he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is.
Right. So we see the cloud. We're like, okay, it's gonna rain today. But read.
And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass.
Right, and sometimes we can tell when it's going to be a hot weather, but read.
Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time?
Right, we see all these earthquakes happening back to back. Like, look at South America. They being destroyed. We have earthquakes like up in New Jersey. you can tell like the signs are getting closer and closer. We have all these signs going off, and like we are living in the last days. But our people just walking around and they sin, being comfortable, being just tearing along. Like, you know what? I'm good right now. I still have more time because hey, God got me. I'm in grace. Everything's fine. But no, we gotta make sure we discern these times now, because hey, at any moment them bombs can hit.
That's right.
So we gotta actually see that.
In the Most High, like the sign is so clear. Just look at the COVID-19. Most of our people getting killed by that. And look at the police brutality, how we getting snatched out of our cars, getting beat, getting shot up while we laying in the bed. Most High God showing us these signs, and he waiting to us to get back right. That's why I said in Hosea 5:15, through their affliction, they'll see me early.
Real quick, let's go to just to go off of what you said. Give me the second article.
This is CNN.com. Feds to investigate after a sheriff's deputy killed a black man entering his own home in Columbus, Ohio.
Entering his own home. He's going home. He's done nothing wrong.
Wow.
All right. He's done nothing wrong. Just going to his own home. Scroll down, please. Let's read some of this.
A sheriff's deputy working for a fugitive task force shot and killed a black man trying to enter his own home in Columbus, Ohio.
Read.
Last week, in a case that is now being investigated by federal authorities. Casey Goodson, 23, fatally shot on Friday by a 17-year veteran of the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, identified as Deputy Jason Meade. Meade was working for the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force looking for violent offenders at the time. But Goodson was not the person being sought by the task force, Columbus police said. Goodson had put his keys into his door before he was shot and fell into the kitchen.
So hold on, check this out.
Wow.
Understand this. If you put in your key into your door, right? What's in front of you? The door.
Right.
So that means if you're putting your key into your door, nobody puts their key in like with their back turned to the door. Nobody does that. You'd be an idiot if you do that.
Right.
So this shows us just off of that line that he was looking straight at his door. He put his key into the door and he got shot in the back. He gets shot in the back for no reason at all. Let's read the rest of this before we cut the break.
Goodson had put his keys into his door before he was shot and fell into the kitchen.
And fell into the kitchen. Why won't they put it right? It's shot in the back. Like, this man was shot in the back.
Of course
Right.
he was.
You understand? Read on.
Where his 5-year-old brother and his 72-year-old grandmother saw him lying on the ground with a Subway sandwich.
So the brother was hungry, went home, opened his door, got shot up, stumbled in his house and fell in the kitchen. His 5-year-old brother had to witness his last moments on the earth.
Right.
You understand? And his elderly grandmother, when the brother just went to get something to eat.
Right. Probably know he just gasping for air right there too.
Exactly, bro. So
Wow.
it's time, brothers and sisters, and you got to understand this. Everybody's not going to get it, but hey, it is what it is. Some of our people are going to make it. Some of our people are not. All right, but we ain't speaking to the ones who don't want to obey God. We speaking to those who have a love for God, but not according to knowledge. And we pray that y'all, you listen to these classes and these shows so y'all can get a clue, so y'all can wake up and be the brothers and the righteous sisters that the Most High called you to be. All right, we're about to cut to quick commercial breaks. This is the Writings on the Wall radio show. We'll be back shortly. All right. We are back with the Writings on the Wall radio show. All right. So let's get a little bit more on this article. Go ahead and read the title again for us.
This is CNN.com. Feds to investigate after a sheriff's deputy killed a black man entering his own home in Columbus, Ohio.
All right, go back to where you were.
Goodson had put his keys into his door before he was shot and fell into the kitchen, where his 5-year-old brother and His 72-year-old grandmother saw him lying on the ground with a Subway sandwich. Family attorney Sean Walton told CNN. Goodson, an Ohio concealed carry permit holder, was legally armed at the time of the shooting. According to the Columbus Division of Police, Goodson was not alleged to have committed any crimes, has no criminal background, and was not the target of any investigation, Walton told CNN. During the U.S. Marshals Task Force operation in Columbus, Meade reported seeing a man with a gun and was investigating the situation when there was reportedly a verbal exchange prior to the shooting, the Columbus Division of Police said. According to the police, no other officers witnessed the shooting.
See?
Wow. See
No
that?
other officers witnessed the shooting. I bet. I freaking bet. Go ahead.
No civilian eyewitnesses have been identified, and there is no body camera footage of the actual shooting because Franklin County Sheriff's Task Force officers aren't issued body cameras.
Wow.
All right, let's read Psalms 12, man. We got to hear some good news when we hear
Wow.
foolishness like
They
that.
always trying to put a lie in there.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
Give me Psalms 10 first. Psalms 10, start at verse 8.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10, and verse 8.
Tell you what, start at verse 7.
Verse 7. His mouth is filled of cursing and deceit and fraud.
And fraud, man. Deceit
There you
and
go.
fraud. Man, I know y'all seen Training Day, man. Y'all seen Training Day with
Yes.
Denzel Washington. It just shows you the corruptness in that field, man.
Right.
All they got to do is agree upon it, and that's law. All right? And that thing is law. Read it again.
His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud.
And fraud, meaning fraudulent. They could say that no other police witnessed it because that police would say, I didn't see anything. Did you see anything? No, I didn't see anything. All right, let's write up the report. That's how they get down, man. Read on.
Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
Right, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Read.
He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent.
Does he murder the innocent? Hey, he put his keys in his door, had a Subway sandwich. Okay, it doesn't matter if he had a weapon on him. He had his back turned. It don't matter. In America, it says it's you can bear arms. You understand? He had it legally too.
Right.
Okay, read on.
His eyes are privately set against the poor.
His eyes are privately set against the poor. Who are the poor? The Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draweth him into his net.
You see that thing right there, man? And then what did they say? There was an exchange of words before. So what?
Right.
What do you can't control your emotions?
Right.
You should not have a badge. You understand? Now, give me that in Psalms 12. We need to hear some good news, man. All right, because we live in these last days.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
they're not going to keep doing this and nothing's going to happen, bro.
Right.
All right? All right, read this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 12, and verse 1.
Come on.
Help, Lord, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful fail from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor. With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak.
With a double heart do they speak. All right, they say one thing, but behind closed doors is another story. Come on.
The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things.
Read.
Verse 4. Who have said, with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is the Lord over us?
Right, because guess what? Right now they have they got the rule, right? They got the authority over us. So they're saying, who's Lord over us? All right, because that's how the white man, when you go back to his lineage, when you research the Roman Empire, they see themselves as God. They worship their quote unquote greatness. That's why they esteem the Pope as the manifestation of God on earth. Okay, that's why every time the Pope says something, that's why it's always a big deal.
Right.
Because you think about it, say, hold on, man, that's all the way over there in Europe. I'm sorry, Europe and Italy. But how come everything the Pope does, it has weight here in America? Why is that? Because they all the same. They're all in agreement together. Okay, understand that. They think that they are God on the earth. All right, they think that they're answering to nobody, but read on.
For the oppression of the poor, for the sighting of the needy, now will I arise.
See that thing right there? Because they're going to keep thinking they can get away with it.
Right.
But God is going to say, you know what? Now's the time. Bam. You understand? Now's the time. Come on.
Saith the Lord, I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him.
Right. From him that puffeth at him. Those the powers that be that taunt us, that speak proudly against us, who hunt our steps. God says that he's going to arise against him. All right. In his last days. So, what else we got? Give me the, just click a few of them, please, so I can see. No, not that one. Nope. Yes, read this one.
This is yahoo.com. Black mother fatally shot. White man confesses he wanted to teach her a lesson.
You see that foolishness, man?
You see that?
A white man kills a black woman just because he wants to teach her a lesson.
Wicked.
Go ahead.
Last week, a white man admitted to fatally shooting a black woman in an alley in Enid, Oklahoma. He told police he did it to teach her a lesson. An investigation into the shooting is still ongoing, but officials are confident that his arrest will bring closure to the woman's family. WFTV 9 reports that 30-year-old Shane Dale Perosi is accused of maliciously gunning down 27-year-old Marquita Ferguson and is charged with first-degree murder, possession of a firearm by a felon, and destruction of evidence.
Right, and destruction of evidence. Give me James, book of James. All right, because we're gonna keep seeing things like this happen. All right, but those who are getting their lives together, repenting, keeping the Sabbath day holy, not eating shrimp, crab, pork, lobster. Right. All right, you are going to see something great happen on the earth. This is how the Most High drew it up. Understand that thing. Start at verse 1.
James, chapter 5 and verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
It says, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. We just read that in Psalms 12. Mm-hmm. Psalms 12, it said that he's going to arise on our behalf.
That's right.
On our behalf. On this show, we can only go to so many articles, but this is happening to our people in the masses on a day-to-day basis. All right, read this verse again.
Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Mm-hmm. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you.
And I do want to say this too. I like to teach to my people. So for those who think they're comfortable here in Babylon, meaning what the blacks and Hispanics who think that everything's good. Oh, give me that in Isaiah 28:15. Here's a precept for you. Understand this. All right, because we already know the nations, they're going to get judged for the wickedness they done to us. Right. I want to focus on my people, God's people, the Israelites. All right? Read Isaiah 28:15 real quick.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through. Right.
It says, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through. Check this out. Go back to 2nd Ezra 16. Go back, because this is you Israelites, so-called blacks and Hispanics. These are you who's married to the heathen. This is you who got that good job. Right. You understand? Don't give a damn about your people. Watch this. Go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 19. Read that again.
2nd Ezra 16 and verse 19.
Come on.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges.
As what?
Sent as scourges.
As what?
As scourges.
So what? In these last days, right, you're going to see these scourges sent upon the earth. But you got some of our people who are asleep, who are in a deep sleep, not a nap. These guys, they partied all night and they are hungover. They in a deep sleep. Right. Okay? Go back to Isaiah 28. Watch this. Because the scourges are coming and we're seeing them take place right now. Right. That's what we see. Read it again.
Isaiah chapter 28 And verse 15.
Come on.
Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. And when the overflowing scourge shall pass through.
Right. So when these troublesome times come in these last days, come on.
It shall not come unto us.
That's what you think. That's what a lot of y'all think. Y'all think that y'all going to be good. All right. Y'all think that you're always going to have food to eat. All right. You think that nobody's going to come touch you because you made a covenant with your oppressor. Right. Yeah, they said that's what you did. You made a covenant with hell and death. That's what God calls your oppressor, hell and death. Right. Read on.
For we have made lies our refuge.
You have made what?
Lies our refuge.
Lies your refuge. Lies your refuge. Everybody knows, right? You have to, if you tell one lie and you don't want the truth to come out, what you got to do? You got to tell another lie. Right. So eventually, everything's going to get exposed. Everybody knows that. So what you think going to happen to America?
Bring it out.
That's the same thing that's going to happen to America. America, Babylon the Great, is going to fall because it was built on lies.
That's right.
Read on.
And under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
You see that? That's a lot of our people right there. They want to hide under the umbrella of your enemy. But God is coming for your enemies. All right? That's why we trying to get our people to wake up. Get a clue. He's your God, and he's coming to bring vengeance because of you.
That's right.
All of this is because of you, black man, Hispanic man. Right. But hey, if you don't want to wake up, you're gonna go down with America. Understand that? Where we at? Y'all got anything?
Hey, Kev, I got something. Let me get 1 Maccabees 5:1. Because when the other nations start to see us rise, and see the Israelites rise and us keeping the commandments, those one cleaving to other nations, something really bad gonna happen to them, like how you just said, Cap. They're going to go down. They're going to feel it too. But watch this.
1 Maccabees 5 and verse 1. Now, when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much.
Right. So you can see that the Israelites are back on the earth. You see that the sons of God are rising back up. That's us, the Israelites, the so-called blacks and Hispanics today. But read.
Wherefore, they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them.
That's the you so-called blacks and Hispanics that want to cleave to them. The ones that want to stay asleep. That want to marry this other nation. That want to marry the white girl. That want to marry the white man. Or they want to do everything that they want to set up. Read that part again.
Wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them. And thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people.
You see that? Hey, what happened before is going to happen again. So you either get right with your own people or be slave amongst the heathen.
That's right. That's right.
While y'all looking at the other nations, let's see what God said about these other nations. Give me that in Job chapter 21, verse 7. Give me that in Job chapter 21, verse 7. Let's see how God tells us these other nations think, and they think differently from how we think. Their situation is different from our situation. Read that.
Job 21 and verse 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power.
So it's talking about the wicked. We know who the wicked is according to the Bible. We read it to you on numerous occasions. It's Esau, Esau, Edom. Read.
Their seed is established in their sight with them.
So it's telling you their seed is established. They become wicked. They get power. Read.
And their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear.
Hold up. Their houses are what?
Safe from fear.
Understand, this man just got killed just putting a key in his doorknob.
Right.
Nothing about that is safe. And we know that the police officer that killed him going to get away scot-free. Read that part again.
Neither is the rod of God upon them.
Read.
Their bull gendereth and faileth not. Their cow calveth.
It's basically saying that the things that they have, they don't have to worry about anything. Read.
And casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance.
So it's telling you basically there's mirth. I mean, there's laughter, there's joy within their communities. Read verse 30. Let's see, but what we got to worry about, because no matter what, at the end of the day, God letting this happen before our eyes, but at the end of the day, God had a plan for them. Read.
That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction.
So God didn't want to take them off yet because he's saving them for the day of destruction. They going to pay for it. But like Cap said earlier, we got to wake up because all of us ain't going to make it. 2/3 of us ain't going to make it.
That's right.
Right.
All praise.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a point I wanted to bring out we was in James, the 5th chapter. I'm sorry. Let's go back there real quick. Let's finish that out.
James chapter 5 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath.
You see that thing right there? So it says, you that was living comfortable, all right, you as that was stacking up riches to yourself. It says, your servants, the ones who have been working, their cries have now been heard. All right, understand, that's very easy when it comes to the black man, except the select few, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, do we have some millionaires, blacks and Hispanics? Yes, but for the majority of our people, no, we're broke, right, or we're needy. So those servants are who? Us, according to Leviticus 25 and 55. All right, we are the servants, but who are we servants to? The Lord. All right, He put us in servitude. Give me that in Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. Okay, He made us servants to the other nations because of our sins. Okay, but He's saying at this time, hey, He gonna hear our prayers just like He heard our prayers in Egypt. Okay. Read that one and give me that in Exodus 3 after this.
Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 5.
Come on.
There is an evil which I have seen under the earth. Excuse me. There is an evil.
Is it 6?
7 says.
7?
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Right. Princes walking as servants. You understand? The princes of God are you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
God says those servants, all right, that are serving the lofty, the rich, all right, their cries have been heard. All right, give me that in Exodus 3. I think it's 9 and 10.
Exodus 3 and verse 9. Now, therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me.
You see that thing? Just like in old time, all right? Just like there was an Exodus at that time, there's going to be another Exodus, all right? But this is going to be the one that we're going to talk about for the rest of existence.
That's right.
That's right.
Finish that in James 5 before we close out.
James chapter 5 and verse 6. Verse 5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just.
You see that? You have condemned and killed the just. In that article we read earlier, they tried to make it look like he did something wrong.
Right.
Who cares if he has a weapon? He got the permit for that weapon.
Right.
Who cares if there was an altercation before? He was trying to get into his house.
Right.
Read that verse again.
Ye have condemned and killed the just.
You see that? The just are you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. Come on.
And he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore.
God instructs us to do what?
Be patient, therefore.
Read.
Brethren, unto the coming of the Lord.
Unto the coming of the Lord. Because what? The God, He's a just God. He is a just God. Give me that in Romans, the 12th chapter.
Romans chapter 12 and verse 19.
Come on.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord.
Yeah, He's going to repay. That's why He say be patient. Wait on the Lord, all right, because He hears our cries, all right? Understand this. If you're in the midst of sin, God don't hear you.
Right.
Meaning what? If you, sisters, you wearing pants, brothers, you out there being effeminate, selling poison to your people, He don't hear you.
Right.
He hears the cries of the righteous, okay?
That's right.
All right, real quick, give me this last article.
This is Fox5Atlanta.com. Hundreds ill, one dead due to mysterious illness in India.
So here comes something else. It says hundreds ill and one dead due to a mysterious illness over in India. Let's read a little bit about it.
At least one person has died, and 200 others have been hospitalized due to an unidentified illness in the southern Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. Report said Monday.
All right, so let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and I want verse 49. So understand this. Understand this thing. In ancient Egypt, all right, Egypt was getting plagued because what? They are the ones who had the children of Israel in slavery. All right, in these last days, it's not just America that's going to get these plagues. All right, every nation. Yes, because every nation had us in captivity. Right. You understand? And we're scattered all over. So everywhere that the Israelites are, every nation will be plagued. Understand that thing. Read what you got.
2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 49.
Come on.
I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death.
Destruction and death. And that's what we see the Most High God doing in these last days. So it'll be, if you are an Israelite by blood, it'll be in your best interest to what? To repent. All right, start keeping God's commandments, turn away from your iniquity, and sin no more. Yes, all right. This is Israel United in Christ. We have a school here in Tallahassee, Florida, 3030 South Monroe Street. All right, come and visit. Come learn your nationality. All right, this has been the Writings on the Wall radio show. To my right,
Officer Elijah.
Officer Hezekiah.
Officer Sampson.
And I'm Officer Losias.
All right, and with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
All right, Lord's will, we'll see you next week with another show.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.